Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football Sunday afternoon. The USC commitment sweatshirt comes back on. Five-star quarterback Husan Longstreet flipping his commitment from Texas A&M to USC. We kind of knew this was in the making after all the buzz around Julian Lewis flipping his commitment from USC. Lincoln Riley over the last 3 weeks, I think completely turned his attention to Husan Longstreet right in USC's backyard. This is a massive get for USC. And, we've talked about the difference between Julian Lewis and Husan Longstreet as prospects, like both really good quarterback prospects that I had no doubt would have success under Coach Lincoln Riley, as most quarterbacks do. The biggest thing for Husan Longstreet that I love in terms of this fit over Julian Lewis, there is, in my opinion, significant more upside with Husan Longstreet than Julian Lewis, right? How we talked about Julian Lewis as a high school prospect. This kid is extremely accomplished at the high school ranks, playing really good football down there in the state of Georgia, 7A classification. You can't argue with the production that Julian Lewis had at the high school ranks, but, from an athletic standpoint, not necessarily great. From an arm talent standpoint, solid, but nothing special. Husan Longstreet, premier athlete, premier arm talent. The ceiling for Husan Longstreet in this USC offense, I think, significantly higher than what Julian Lewis's was. Now, does he have the ability to come and start right away? We'll kind of see how that plays out. I think Julian Lewis might have been more of the day one ready guy, but you talk about ceiling for Husan Longstreet, I don't think it gets much higher in this 2025 cycle. And I think why that's such a big talking point. Look at what just happened for USC yesterday against Nebraska. I mean, Lincoln Riley with an athletic quarterback, with a quarterback that's a playmaker, a difference maker, is much more comfortable calling plays on offense than guys like Julian Lewis and Miller Moss. So I think one, really good football player, two, really good fit for this USC offense. The Texas A&M fans know I've been a massive fan of this kid for a very long time. I'm excited to get into the film with the USC fans. Now, before we get into it, as always, to the USC fans, y'all continue to show a ton of love to the boys. And obviously 2024 has been a frustrating season for USC. We've continued to talk about it. Y'all have continued to show a ton of love. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. It's going to be a really fun next couple of weeks and months for USC in terms of the turnover you're going to see from a personnel standpoint. I think this USC team's getting geared up to get really aggressive in the transfer portal. We're going to have a lot to talk about. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. Without further ado, let's get into Husan Longstreet. Now, you take a look at the numbers from the junior year: 66% completion percentage, 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. There's two things to me that separate Husan Longstreet and Julian Lewis as prospects. One is the athleticism. Husan Longstreet, not only just as a pure runner of the football, and this kid is put together like 6'1.5", 195. He almost looks like a running back, and he runs like a running back too. This is a very, very good athlete when you're asking him to run the football. But I think just as importantly, really good operating outside of the pocket. Can throw off platform, can throw from a variety of different arm angles. Again, these are all things that are really important in terms of running a Lincoln Riley offense. You look at the quarterbacks that have had success under Lincoln Riley, they're quarterbacks that allow Lincoln Riley to call whatever play he wants. You look at a guy like Miller Moss and maybe kind of Julian Lewis as well, you're probably limited in terms of the things you could ask those quarterbacks to do. You look at guys like Husan Longstreet, a guy like Baker Mayfield or Kyler Murray or Caleb Williams, not a play in the playbook that you can't call when these guys are running the offense. So I think most importantly, two things: really good football player, really good quarterback prospect, but I think also a really good fit in terms of what Lincoln Riley is looking for at the quarterback position. Now, you get into the film, it's a gun show. I mean, this guy throws a lot of really pretty footballs. This play right off the bat, super impressive. You talk about arm talent, like opposite hash, corner route, on a line, perfect ball placement. This is not a very easy throw. Like, this ball has to travel a long ways on a line, perfect ball placement. Husan Longstreet can make that happen. It's not the flashiest throw, a really, really big time throw. This is a flashy throw. And you talk about playmaker, you talk about difference maker. Hey, kind of muddy pocket, get outside the pocket, extend plays, no look pass, I believe, this is like a Houdini in terms of throwing the football. Great ball placement too. I mean, you can't teach that kind of stuff. That is the stuff that Julian Lewis, Miller Moss, they just weren't able to do. Love how this kid processes. Love how he pushes it down to that deeper third. Doesn't throw as many moonshots as he does just ripping it in there. But you can also see Husan Longstreet layer the football well too. Talk about the athlete. Again, read options. But Miller Moss wasn't a guy that could keep the football. Julian Lewis wasn't a guy to keep the football. Husan Longstreet, if you don't want to respect what he can do, he can make you pay with his legs. And I want to clarify, this is not me knocking Julian Lewis as a prospect. I think he's going to be a successful college quarterback, but I'm more focusing on the fit within this USC offense. I think Husan Longstreet brings a little bit more juice and a little bit more ceiling. Taking a look at this play right here, just again, he runs the football like a running back. Short area quickness, runs physically. I love what this kid can do as an athlete as well. You continue to work through the film. A really, really quick release. I mean, this kid is twitched up. I mean, talk about maneuvering in the pocket, but also that throwing motion. It's clean, it's concise, and he can spray at any portion of the football field. Again, really good ball placement. He's really good working some of those post corner routes. Continue to work through the film. Good processor. Again, pushing it vertically down the field. Very, very rarely misses some of those vertical shots. Continue to work through the film. Continue to see this kid just quick release, great ball placement vertically down the field. I think Husan Longstreet is a blast to watch. And again, what you love here, like, hey, we're going to be an athlete. We're going to manipulate the pocket, but we're also going to set our feet and throw just an absolute laser down the field, lay it right over the safety. There's things about Husan Longstreet that you can't really teach. Again, continue to work in the middle of the field. This is a really nice ball too. I mean, talk about layering it over these linebackers underneath. Does that at a high level, puts it right on that wide receiver for the touchdown. I think Husan Longstreet, really, really fun prospect. Again, you talk about playmaker. That's Husan Longstreet. This is a little bit ad lib, but this is something that a lot of quarterbacks who have thrived under Lincoln Riley, they make happen. Like, how many times have we seen Caleb Williams get himself out of fire, keep his eyes down the field, and go create a play that was going to go for negative yards, go out and hit an explosive play? And those were the things that a guy like Miller Moss, when he got into those situations, really couldn't make anything happen. You look at a guy like Husan Longstreet, he can make water. He can make, I should say, make wine out of water. He can make really good things come out of really bad situations. That's a part of the quarterback position that over time has become increasingly important. I would encourage USC fans to continue to buzz Husan Longstreet's film. It is a blast to watch. A couple things I love: recruiting the state of California, and I think secondly, like that seemed like a win against Nebraska that got some buzz on the recruiting trail. You know who is also on campus for that win? Five-star defensive lineman Jakeem Stewart, who Coach Henney has. I think that's the crown jewel for Coach Henney in this class. He's going to be a tough sell out of Louisiana. You still have Oregon gunning after him. I think what you can offer Jakeem Stewart is that you're going to play early for USC. He's ready to play early. That's for 1.66, 270. I know he reclassified from 2026. This kid is ready to step on a college football field and play. You look at guys like Gavin Mayer, Nate Clifton moving on after 2024. You can offer Jakeem Stewart a lot of opportunity to get on the football field early. Again, it feels like one of those games, kind of like after that LSU game, where it's like, kind of get some momentum with this program. Show this program's going in the right direction. We'll see how it plays out on the recruiting trail. We're already seeing some dividends getting paid off with Husan Longstreet. Massive get for Lincoln Riley. I think a lot of USC fans are probably excited to just close the book on the Julian Lewis recruitment. Hope he has success wherever he goes, but I think USC fans are kind of sick and tired of following Julian Lewis on a visit every single week, and that's not going to USC. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We'll talk to y'all later.